Hey, how's it going? Paul Corral here, and in this video, we're going to be going through the Authority Ads ecosystem, how to turn cold traffic on Meta into pre-sold clients without funnels, hype, or spending a mint on your ads. Because here's the thing, if you are a service-based business, coach, consultant, course creator, or even something more conventional, and you've seen your costs go through the freaking roof with your Meta ads, we're going to fix it right now because the game has changed. Okay, the algorithm didn't really stop working. The people in your market became more skeptical, right? Because they've been burned a million times. You probably have too. So most advertisers are still running that old school, like make hypey claims, drive them to a conventional webinar call funnel, and try to take a complete stranger from the internet, like zero to doing business with them, to the tune of thousands of dollars, like that. And that's just not the reality that we live in anymore. The results is, the harder you try to sell, the more scammy and desperate you come across, and the harder it is to close a deal. So here's the big mindset shift here. And by the way, what you're seeing on the screen here is a PDF I'll make available in the bio here. You can use it as kind of a step-by-step SOP because we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of actual execution of this strategy. But first you have to understand that the big mindset shift here is you're not running ads to generate leads or sales, at least not initially. Right now you're running ads to manufacture trust and like minor celebrity status in your market. Now when you when you set up this, you're going to be able to build a following, build that know, like, and trust factor before you ask for the sale. And the crazy thing is even though you're kind of doing extra steps here, it ends up being far cheaper to acquire a customer when you run your ads this way. Okay, so by the time somebody's booking a call from you, they should already know, like, and trust you to where they're just like, dude, just give me the details. Where do I sign? Let's go. Okay, so the way you actually manufacture this mini celebrity and this trust before making a much faster and easier sale is the three phases of the Authority Ads ecosystem. And we're going to go through them right now, just like intellectually what it looks like from a strategic standpoint. And then I'll show you just real quick the specific types of campaigns you're going to be running for each one of these three phases. But here's the wild thing, okay? If you're seeing 20-somethings doing really crappy selfie videos that get like seemingly like 30 views or less than a couple hundred views, but you see them everywhere and they're throwing up case study after case study of just crushing the game with ads, this is what they're doing. You see, I learned this from 20-somethings because they are native to the platform. Old guys like me, we tend to think of social media like any other advertising media, and it just doesn't work that way. The kids that have figured this out, they grew up with social media and it just feels natural. So what this does is makes the discovery process feel organic, not contrived, not a bunch of hype pushed out with ad dollars. All right, so let's jump into exactly how this works. All right, phase one is just discovery, like, hey, I exist and I know what I'm talking about. Okay, the goal is to get people to know you, follow you, and trust you. Okay, so instead of sending traffic to a funnel, you send them to your Instagram profile. Your Instagram profile is the new landing page. You're not selling anything here, you're just adding value and you're bringing them into your world. Okay, you want to create these aha moments, actionable insights, things like that is genuinely helpful. Old Frank Kern used to say, show people you can help them by actually helping them. Okay, so what you're really looking at here is this is your short form reel content, 15 to 45 seconds, just really specific, short, punchy stuff that addresses all the super common things that you hear from your clients all day, every day, and provides them the mindset shift. You and I both know your clients think they have problem A, but they really have problem B, and you need to help them see that, right? That's what your top of funnel stuff does. So that once they've visited the profile, they've interacted with your content, you go into phase 2, which is creating conversations. Not necessarily leads, although it works for that as well. All right, so you're not really capturing leads, you're starting conversations. Typically, you're running engagement campaigns, optimizing for Messenger and DMs, okay? And this works because you can start a conversation in the DMs in real time. So a lot of people at this phase, they might be opting in for, your typical lead magnet. And usually lead magnets that are quick to implement and solve a very specific problem, really gives them that dopamine hit, really provides an instant gratification. Something like SOPs, templates, custom GPTs are hot right now, obviously. Quick wins, immediate value. And this is where you see people saying, oh, DM me or comment this. That's what you're creating here. But you're just putting ad dollars behind it so it scales, right? And the type of content here, you're looking at a little bit longer content. This could be a minute to 3-ish. And it's what is commonly referred to in ads as a teach and pitch. You start with value. You're usually talking to people who are problem aware, solution aware, product aware. You're creating that mindset shift. You are introducing your proprietary process, right? And you're differentiating yourself with case studies and testimonials and things like that. And then you make a very low-key pitch if you want to, my checklist, my standard operating procedure, my, copy and paste templates, my custom GPT, whatever it is, DM me below and I'll send it over, right? And the reason you go for the DMs is twofold. One, cheap as hell, because you're keeping people on the platform and Meta will reward you with cheap CPMs. Two, you can have an AI booking bot follow up with people immediately in the DMs or in Messenger, qualify them, and possibly book them into a call. And that's beautiful because you don't waste a bunch of time following up yourself, and you don't waste a bunch of time talking to unqualified people once they've made it to your calendar. This is a game changer. It's kind of the secret sauce that everybody's using right now, and they kind of poke around the edges and talk about it, but they don't really get into it in depth. But that's what they're doing. This ad is replacing your typical, lead magnet type stuff. Okay, and then phase 3 is just a straight up low key offer. Okay, now this is where you can drive to a VSL or a call type funnel if you have one that's already working well. But again, this can go down in the DMs, and oftentimes it does. A lot of B2B people like to use lead forms here. Either way, okay? You're essentially just making a very simple, straightforward offer. And you're saying, this is what we do. Here's what we do it for. Here's very specific results we can provide. Here are requirements for working with us. You want to talk about it? Go here. Okay. Think Alex Hermosi, $100 million offer type of a script, or like a Joel Irway. What did he call them? Power offers? You can call them power offers. If you look up any of those types of scripts, it's really straightforward stuff. And the reason why that works, this one ad right here, this phase 3, this conversion ad, can do 20, 30x return on ad spend and bring your total campaign up to 10x real quick, is that it's only going out to people who already know, like, and trust you and have interacted with your content. Okay? So let's talk about action plans here. All right? So that's the philosophy, right? Short form content, top of funnel. Teach and pitch starts conversations right in the middle while adding yet more value. Low key, low budget, straightforward retargeting, books your calendar solid, bottom of funnel. We're moving the funnel onto the platform. We're running 3 ad campaigns that essentially make everything feel like organic discovery, except you have control over scale, right? time and speed because it's a paid ad strategy. Okay. So let's look at this. In execution, first I'll go over to my little demo account here. Let me make my stupid mug smaller and get it out of the way. All right, so profile visit ads. I can't believe more people aren't running these right now. I got clients like they're just building warm retargeting lists and getting hundreds of followers a week just doing this. Okay, it's a traffic campaign. Hit that bad boy. I like manual. And I'm not going to bore you to death with click for click. This is just what the objective looks like when you go to the ad set level here. Instagram, Facebook. Bam. I like to do that. And this is some random profile. Let me find mine here. There we go. Let's pretend I'm doing mine. I like to go Insta only. And another trick here is if you're going to Insta only, go down here to your placements. Right? Let me see where we at. There we go. Pick your manual placements. And everybody's interface can be slightly different. So, and just uncheck Facebook. Keep it on Instagram. That's where the attention is at. And the people that click from Instagram will follow on Instagram. I find that you don't get quite as many followers coming over across platform from Facebook, oddly enough. That's it. The other thing here is I recommend using an existing post. And it doesn't even have to be an ad with a call to action to say, hey, follow me. What I like to use here is I'll test 5 to 10 organic posts that get good engagement. So just hit use existing post, uncheck that stupid little box, and hit here, select a highly engaged post, run it as an ad. One of the things to be aware of now is I recommend, if you already have a decent following, use a 1% lookalike based on your current following. Better than that, if you have a buyer's list big enough to create a lookalike based off of it, that's your best bet. If you don't have any of those, you're just starting out, use an interest stack, meaning 3 to 5 broad interests that match your target demo, right? What I don't like for this particular campaign is just running wide open. A lot of people saying, oh, just use broad targeting, go wide open. And for conversion campaigns, oftentimes that works really well. But for whatever reason, as of the time of this recording, early 2026, interest targeting, lookalike targeting works way, way better for profile visit campaigns in my experience when you're looking at, say, cost per follower. Okay? What else? I think that's it. Yeah, that should give you some subtle nuances to work with. Again, 5 to 10 highly engaged posts, throw $3 to $5 at them a day just to test them. And oh, that's the other thing I wanted to show you. Check this out. If you go down to customize columns, boom, come up here. The first thing that comes up is Instagram followers. Didn't already always have this in there. Pretty cool. You can hit that and then you can scroll all the way to the end. Obviously there's nothing in here right now, but you can say, oh, number of Instagram followers, take a look at how much you spent, and you can kind of game out approximately what a follower is going to cost you. And that's kind of how I gauge the success of this particular campaign, is which posts get me the most followers at the best possible price. That gives you an idea of, hey, this is the type of post that people find valuable enough to give me a follow. Let's create more like that. And then, of course, you're constantly rotating in new posts over time. You keep your top performers in there, but you're constantly rotating more in, right? Okay. So let's go back to the PDF here that you're going to use as your execution, right? Let me see. So we got section 1, optimizing your profile. I think everybody beats this to death, and there's people that are probably better at it than me, but generally speaking, you want to introduce yourself, so-and-so, founder of whatever it is that you do, right? I help specific audience achieve specific result using my proprietary method call to action, DM me for inquiries, or go over and watch my VSL I just put on YouTube, or click the link below that sends them to your call funnel, whatever it is, right? I leave that up to you. But again, you're optimizing your profile as if it's a landing page. So you're telling them exactly what you do and who you do it for with a simple call to action. Take the next step, whatever that is in your sales process. Now, your 3 pin post at the top is something to take into consideration too. Your 5 to 10 pillars of your authority content or your pillar content. That's a different video into itself, but I just put this in here to say, like, if you are a lot of people that have just always run ads and you don't create a lot of organic content, have at least these 5 to 10, right? For God's sake. And start creating regular content at least 3 times a week, because that is basically a lot like your email list. That's how you follow up. That's how you build credibility. This ad ecosystem will not work if you're not creating regular content. And again, you're not trying to create cheesy, like mass appeal, go viral type content. The best way to create content for a service-based business is just literally talk specifically about the problems that you solve for your very specific clientele. Okay, so let's go to the middle section, okay, with your authority content or that teach and pitch style stuff. Here's what you're going to want to do with those ads, right? You're going to want to run engagement optimized for Messenger, right? Again, this is where you see a lot of people saying comment, but in these cases, they're going to be able to go straight to Messenger. And that's what this is going to look like. So if I go create here, oh, I'm still in the ad set level. Let's go back. If I go create here, I'm going to go engagement, continue, always go manual. Okay, if I go to the ad set level here, oh, look at that. It already chooses Messenger destination as default. Isn't that freaking cool? And again, it keeps on wanting to do this random. There we go. Let's do that. Bam. I dig this because this can be both platforms. You can experiment with it. For some people, it works great on both. For others, it works way better if you're just doing Instagram. Again, it's a very individual thing. You got to test it on your own to figure it out. Maximum number of conversations, maximum number of link clicks. You want conversations, okay? And that's it. When you come over here, here's what's cool. You can create the ad or you can use organic content. Again, I suggest using organic content. This whole system is basically just a hybrid system. Creating organic content, not to go viral, but to be genuinely helpful and move people towards the next step of working with you. But with paid advertising behind it, so you have control over speed and scale. Okay, so you can very easily just use an existing post here, get rid of multi-advertiser. That's absolute crap. And that's it right there. And then it can also automate this. Okay, now I recommend hooking this up to something like a Go High Level or a ManyChat, so you can have an AI booking bot follow up immediately on the back end. This thing will book you a crazy amount of qualified calls if you use an AI chatbot with either High Level or hooking Claude up to ManyChat, because it can follow up immediately 24/7, 365. You can program it with stellar sales abilities. And I'll have another video to show you exactly how to set this up in High Level. I think it's probably the easiest option. And you can have it program with conditional logic, meaning it will make sure the person's qualified before it will allow them to book a call with you, which is very, very cool. So this one stupid campaign could be a 6-figure pipeline for you unto itself, just giving away lead magnets and having the AI booking bot follow up in the DMs. Okay. Here generally speaking, like, you're not going to deal with this because obviously you're going to have high level hooked up. However, let me show you a quick way you can do this. Let's say you just wanted to test out, like, oh, let me get a proof of concept. Okay. What you would do is you'd say, hi, Paul, click lead magnet below if you want the free thing, right? And that's obviously just placeholder copy, but I'm saying that's what you do. And then instead of all these 3 questions, it's kind of generic, like, oh, tell me about your business and BS like that. You just change this to whatever your call to action, your keyword is. You can just go lead magnet, right? Lead magnet. Bam, right there. And you can see it's right there. So if they press this, then you got your auto response. And your auto response is easy because you can say, cool, here it is. Copy and paste the link right in there. Maybe you're sending them to YouTube to watch a long form sales letter. Maybe you're sending them to a school, community, Discord, whatever it is, PDF. And look at that, it even allows you to do attachments, although I've never screwed with this. Just put the link right there, right? www.link.com or whatever. And that's it. You can just hit save on that. And before you hook anything up, just run it for a little while. It gives you proof of concept. Oh, cool. I got so many messages, so many people hit the thing, got the link to the thing, right? Just for testing this out before you go through the trouble of getting this all hooked up with a mini chat or a go high level. All right, let's go back here. Now, down at the bottom, of course, is your conversion campaign, right? And you can run straight to a calendar. You can keep this in the DMs, and you can run good old-fashioned lead forms, right? So there's so many different ways to test this. But I'll give you a few ways that have proven to work. One, you can just keep it running as a DM. The difference is you're only retargeting people. Okay, so you're basically only going after people who have already followed you or interacted with your content. And if you have a pre-existing email list, upload that as a custom audience, of course, and retarget everybody who's opted in but hasn't bought in the past, right? Now, a lot of times you can put like a little mini VSL where you're, a 2 to 5 minute spiel, making a very plain, straightforward offer, and then link them literally directly to your calendar widget. Seen that work really well. If you already have a great converting VSL or call funnel, this stupid little conversion ad, run this just, again, bottom funnel to only warm audiences of that thing and get 20-30x ROAS, no problem. You can keep it an engagement DM ad just like we did in phase 2. Definitely nothing wrong with that because you can run them through that same AI chatbot that will qualify them, build value, and then book them into your calendar for you. Fantastic way to go as well, because again, it keeps them on platform. Lead form, same thing. You put the VSL or the just very simple offer type ad as the ad creative itself. You have them fill out the lead form, and you put a few things in place so you don't get shitty leads. And the call to action button on the lead form, you just link directly to your calendar. Piece of cake, right? There is conditional logic on the lead forms, so you can use that to qualify, or you can just capture the lead and have that same AI chatbot follow up via SMS this time rather than DMs. Do the same thing. Back and forth, build value, qualify the client, book them into your calendar. Right? So I'm giving you multiple ways to slice and dice this because everybody's business, everybody's sales process is a little bit different. So this is compatible in a lot of ways, just as long as you're running a conversion ad or a messenger ad and you're driving to one of these conversion mechanisms. right? Good old-fashioned call funnel, directly to a calendar, direct messages, or a lead form. And that's the formula. Just real quick in here for anybody who hasn't done it before, that's going to be a conversion campaign typically. But again, you can just go engagement just like we did before. You can go lead. And there's a couple different options here. Again, you can go instant form. This is like a lead form. Or you can just go down here and go website if you already have a call funnel set up. That's usually the easiest way to go. Okay? Piece of cake. Now again, this is already getting long. I don't want to bore you with the minute details. If you want to get this SOP along with some in-depth breakdowns that I'm going to be posting very soon of, the exact kind of copy templates and things like that, I'm going to put them in this free school group I just started. There's only 50, 60 people in there. So I got a lot of time to answer questions, at least at the time of this recording. So if you want this SOP and you want to get the follow-up videos that are going to go in depth on, like I said, how to write these ads, how to come up with topics, all that fun stuff, you can go over there and join for free. Hope that's helpful. I don't think I left anything out, but if you're a service-based business and you're looking to utilize paid advertising and AI to take your marketing to the next level, that's what we talk about in the school group, and that's what I talk about on this channel and on the socials wherever you see this. So if that is of interest and value to you, give me a like or follow, and I'll see you in the next video.